So I talk about this a lot. So many people are very goal oriented about sex. And sex tends to be this sort of yes or no question. Are we having sex or not? And if we're doing it, we're just sort of doing the whole thing or we're doing nothing. And this does not help people whose desire works. And the other way, the reactive way, where they're starting at zero with a cold engine and get started and may or may not end up in the mood. So, when or if you and your partner approach sex with this very goal oriented, linear way, expectation, approach, it can be a real barrier for somebody with reactive desire. So, a metaphor I use is like for so many people, sex is like we're marching down a football field and we're gaining yardage, and it doesn't count until we cross the goal line. Doesn't even matter if we made 98 yards, if we didn't score, it's a problem. And this just creates such a barrier for somebody who isn't sure they're in the mood yet. Even our language, the word foreplay, fore meaning before, it's like the play before the main thing. Like we have a main course, and these are just the appetizers, and the whole point is to get to the entree. And this is daunting for people who aren't sure what they're in the mood for yet, who are not yet aroused. And if they're thinking, wait, I'm expected to go out for the entire four-course meal and then have dessert, because that's the whole point. Or I'm expected to, if we get on the field, I got to go the whole 100 yards and cross the goal line. This starts to lead to a lot of no. If sex is this yes or no question, you get more and more no because the person who is not yet in the mood really hesitates to start to say yes unless they're sure they can do the whole thing, unless they're confident they can do the whole thing. So there starts to be this avoidance. Lots more no. And in fact, even more avoidance of physical intimacy at all, like physical affection. You may notice in your relationship less snuggling, less hugs, less kissing, less pats on the butt. People can be so afraid to start something that they're not sure they can finish. They don't even want to put the idea of sexual desire or sex in their partner's mind, where then they're faced again with, wow, do I do this whole thing or do I disappoint my partner again? And if I guess the way I want you to think about it, sex is way more. I have all kinds of metaphors I use, right? Sex is like a playground. You don't have a goal or an agenda. It's not all about going down the slide. It's like it's the outing that counts. Let's just go. Let's have fun. Let's see what we feel like doing once we're there. Let's stay as long as we want to stay. You can't fail. Or if we're going to stick with my food analogies that I realize I use all the time, sex is like tapas. It's a tapas bar. It's not like appetizers and a main course. It's like they all count. They're all different flavors. They're all equivalent. There's nothing better than another. I mean, you might have a favorite. I get that. But it all counts. And we just go and we eat as long as we're hungry. We stay as long as we want to stay. The takeaway here is you cannot fail. And it's going to serve you to enjoy whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're eating at this imaginary restaurant, this tapas place, right? Just enjoy whatever there is without thinking this is a problem if you didn't get to dessert or you didn't get to the main course. You know, this is easier than that. And if you think of sex as this playground and just go enjoy everything you're doing, and maybe you get to do your favorite, maybe you don't, but there's no losing, there's no failure. And especially if this makes it approachable to your partner, and then they'll go with you to the playground, to this restaurant, they're more willing to go without this pressure of expectations and all or nothing thinking. This gets lighter, it gets easier. You know, the whole thing can take its sort of appropriate role in your relationship, which is, it is an important leg of the stool, but it's not the only one. So see what you can do to embrace this idea of tapas in your relationship instead of appetizers and main course.